In this video, we're going to take a look at using a light to fragment this. This is the same scene that we left off of in Fragment 1. We're going to go ahead and rename this dynamic set to Fragment 2. And we've got our same object particle born in that cylinder. And we've got the source being fragmented. And we're going to go ahead and remove these two operators that are affecting those. So right now, you remember we're using just an animated threshold on this. Let's go ahead and right-click in that field and say Show in Track View. And we'll go ahead and do this. What we're going to do is just remove those keyframes that we had applied. Let's go ahead and get the viewport so you can see what we've got there. Load. We want a function curve layout. So here we are in the track view. You can see we've got the dynamic set, fragment 2, the dynamic set, the actual fragment operator, and that threshold value that we just took off the animation. Okay, and then what we're going to do this time is you can see that we scrub and there's no fragmenting occurring. What we're going to do is we're going to add a light, and we're going to add just a standard bulb. We'll go ahead and change him to have some far attenuation and increase this out here. Okay. We'll move up, we'll put him right in this area, and then we're going to go ahead and animate him. We're going to turn off TP by right-clicking on Master Dynamic, turn on Auto Key, and we will animate this guy. Let's actually unhide so we can see that source cylinder. Have him move out there, stop, and then have him come back. Okay, so this light just it's going to start off, he's going to move across the surface once, and then he'll come back a second time. What we're going to do in here is first take a look at how we can have the light activate the fragmenting, and then we're going to take a look at how to double fragment a solid remaining mesh and have more fragments be born. Let's go ahead and turn on TP. We're in our fragment dynamic set here, and it's pretty easy. We just come to the fragment operator, say use lights, pick that Omni 1 that we've got, and we've got to set a threshold. Remember, we've got to say how strong does the light have to be at the receiving vertex in order to cause the fragmenting. We're going to go ahead and just start off, we'll just say 0.1. So we'll come back and we'll hide that red source mesh that we saw there. And of course, now that we've added a light, the shading in our scene kind of changes. We're going to go ahead and add another light just so we can keep things visible and lit. Okay, and this particular light, we'll go ahead and hide him. So we've got our fragment operator. He's set up to use lights, that Omni, and let's just go ahead and run it and see what happens. We go ahead and run by. You can see that as that light, as his attenuation field reaches inside and starts affecting those vertices, he goes ahead and he breaks up into fragments. Those vertices are receiving the light, the threshold value is reached, and so there's enough light reaching those vertices over 0.1, and so they go ahead and they fragment. Breaks off those fragments, and now he's going to run back, and he's going the same path basically, so he's not actually going to hit any new ones. What we want to do though, we can see those fragments break off. That's fantastic. Let's go ahead and we want to set up now a simple situation where we're going to tell the remaining mesh, remember the remaining shape, we do not want them to actually be hollow, but we will actually want a solid remainder in there. So let's go ahead and switch that from hollow to solid. And now we can see that blue interior has grown thick. Basically, these guys are just shedding a certain amount of thickness off. And let's go ahead and take a look. They break, they fly away, and he comes back. Let's go ahead and increase that speed a little bit more just to get them moving a little faster. While we're here, actually, let's do this. Let's explore a couple other things. Let's increase the number of fragments, and we'll see that we get quite a few more fragments being born. But what we want to see is the crack spreading effect. We haven't seen that in action yet. Just to get an idea, we're going to create a sphere so we can look and see what our radius value is. So this is radius of 12, so diameter of 24. So let's say we want a crack spreading to travel at least 24 units, world units. And let's have that spreading occur over 10 frames. And we'll watch and see what happens here. So these fragments are born, and then it's a little bit hard to tell that they are actually spreading. We do see some out in here. We see those being born, and then like this guy right here, and then there's going to be another one that breaks off right to the left of him. We can make this a little more dramatic by increasing the crack spreading. Let's go ahead and do 50. And we'll see that it breaks, and now the crack and fragmenting is spreading all the way around here. So this is what crack spreading is going to do for you. If we want that crack spreading to occur much faster, we can set the spread time to be less. And that means that it's going to take this many number of frames to travel this far. So the cracking occurs, and boom, it goes ahead and shoots across there. You can see it also does kind of affect the fragmenting pattern, so keep that in mind.